Here is an intense and suspense-filled story for the Nigerian horror film The Damned, 2015. The Damned. In the small rural village of Umuofia, nestled deep in the heart of Nigeria, there stands an old abandoned church. For years it had been a place of fear and superstition, a building shrouded in mystery and the supernatural. The villagers believed it was cursed, that anyone who entered its walls would never return. But one fateful day, a group of curious villagers decided to put an end to the superstition. Led by the village elder Eze, they gathered their courage and entered the long-abandoned church. Little did they know, they were about to unleash a terror beyond their wildest nightmares. As they approached the altar, a strange, pungent odor filled the air. The villagers covered their noses, but Eze pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the church's curse. He began to chant an ancient incantation, one that had been passed down through generations of the village elders. Suddenly, the air grew colder, and a low, guttural growl echoed through the church. The villagers froze, their blood turning to ice in their veins. Eze continued the incantation, his voice growing stronger and more defiant. From the shadows a figure emerged, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. It was the spirit of the church, a vengeful entity that had been trapped for centuries. The spirit's form was twisted and grotesque, its limbs elongated and its face contorted in a scream of rage. The villagers turned to flee, but the spirit was upon them, its wrath unleashed. It began to possess each of them, one by one, driving them to madness and despair. Eze was the first to fall, his eyes rolling back into his head as the spirit took control of his body. As the villagers stumbled through the church, they could hear the sound of their own screams echoing through the night. The spirit was feeding off their fear and pain, growing stronger with each passing moment. One by one, the villagers succumbed to the spirit's wrath, their bodies contorting and their minds shattering. Eze, now fully possessed, led the charge, his eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The villagers who had dared to enter the church were now trapped in a living nightmare, their souls bound to the spirit by the incantation Eze had begun. They were the damned, doomed to wander the earth for eternity, their minds and bodies twisted by the spirit's wrath. As the night wore on, the villagers' screams grew louder and more desperate, echoing through the night and into the darkness. And in the abandoned church, the spirit of the damned continued its reign of terror, waiting for the next group of brave souls to dare enter its twisted realm. The Damned was a chilling and suspense-filled horror film that captured the essence of the supernatural and the power of the unknown. With its eerie atmosphere, terrifying possessed characters, and relentless buildup of tension, it was a film that kept audiences on the edge of their seats, their hearts pounding in their chests.